Hey guys, Yard Mama back in the yard, continuing my quest to show you, to prove to you that you can have a beautiful yard organically. Okay, if you watched my last video, you'll see that the only two things I have applied to my yard this entire year, I showed you in my next to last video, but the last video I did out in my yard, I showed you I put an organic lawn food on my yard. I think it was Espoma. It's the first time I've ever used that product. It was 900, what had been recommended by my soil test, so I put that out, one application. And then I put out one application of elemental sulfur to lower my pH level. Okay, and I already showed you what I did. Now, about 2 days later, unfortunately, we had some freak, out of nowhere monsoon that occurred after the one day that I put out. And if you've watched my videos before, you might remember that I told you that I only put basically anything out in June. I have not put anything out in any month other than June for the last 2 or 3 years. Okay, and that just happened to be, sometimes that just happens. So honestly, I don't know how much of that. I live on a slope, some of the hardest rain I've ever seen, so I don't know how much of that took in my yard, how much washed off, but that's what I had put in it. And not to mention the fact that the elemental sulfur is very fine, what you're doing. And it's very dusty, and it was like 10 years old. It was in a bag that I had in my garage for about 10 years, so I don't know how much that was good anyway. Okay, fast forward to June. On June 26th, I did one application of chelated iron, which is also organic. I had used that last year, and if you saw my other videos, pay attention. If you saw my other videos, you'll see that my chelated iron, this right here, this nasty looking jug, it's retired now, but this is like 10 years old too. So who knows if this worked or not. I just said I'm gonna get at least 2 uses out of this for what I paid for it. It's almost full right now. So, but anyway, I put one application of chelated iron out. I used a sprayer, wasn't a backpack sprayer, I think, I can't remember what kind. Anyway, I put it a pump sprayer, I put that out. And that was, today's August 4th. Yard Mama Junior's birthday video in this. He's not feeling real well, but happy birthday to my cameraman and all that. He does my editing, and I'll thank God for him, because I know it's not what I do in that end of the spectrum. Okay, so I did put this out. Whether it worked or not, I don't know. But Matt, look, show them this. I did show you on my last video. In order not to have to throw all this out, because I can't stand to waste anything, I sprayed this. You saw where I sprayed this chelated iron on my little pathway. Showed them the difference between the end. I just sprayed it on the middle, and I did not spray it on these ends. So you see how it turns it a rust color. So I think I'm going to finish this up. I didn't want to spray the ends because I just wanted to show you the contrast. So at least I'll get a little bit of my money's worth out of this. Staying in my concrete, although it's expired. Okay, fast forward. The next thing I did, I told you, if you saw one of my last videos on organic lawn care, I told you I talked to John Perry. He analyzed, and he is the soil meister. He is the guru of all turf care. In fact, he's the one that's created all these biostimulants, these next products. And I told you he recommended that I put one product on my yard, and he recommended humic acid. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I went to try to order his product, his next product. You can go to the lawn care site, lawn care net site, Alan Hain or Pete from GCI Turf. They are two guys that are suppliers for these products, these next biostimulant products from Green County Fertilizer, John Perry's company. But for some reason, I couldn't get it to link. It's probably something I was doing wrong. I'm used to going to Amazon, clicking on something, and it goes in my cart. I don't know, maybe they were out of it at that point. But anyway, I couldn't get it to link up. So I needed something quick, so honestly, I just went on Amazon. I said, I am a granular girl. I'm not used to liquid applications. I've never used an ortho sprayer. So I said, for my first out, let me just get something cheap. So this is what I got. A product called Simple Grow Solutions. Again, I'm pretty new at all this organic stuff. So this is something that is kind of new. I'd never tried it before. So this is what I used. I can't remember what I paid for it, but it's real cheap. I always remember when it's expensive. So this wasn't. So anyway, you can Amazon that. This is the hose end sprayer that they recommend using. Pretty much all the YouTubers. Ortho dial and spray. I had never used one before. I'm not good with stuff like this. I did not feel comfortable, so that's why I said this year. I'll probably go next year to John Perry's Green County Fertilizer, next product, Humic 12, because I know that's a good product. And this one has had good reviews too, but since I didn't know what I was doing, I could see me wasting it all, spilling it, applying it wrong or something, whatever. So I said, let me just start with this, get my feel for these liquid applications. I got to get better at this because I said I'm used to granular stuff. So remember, I would watch Alan Haynes' video on how to use one of these. He makes it real simple. He breaks everything down, very simple lawn care. And in this Humic 12, you want to apply between 3 and 9 ounces per 1,000 square feet, okay? And if you watch that video, you'll feel real good. And it wasn't a big deal. I just had never done it. So I just, once I do something I get comfortable with, the first couple times I'm a little nervous about it. Okay, now with the Humic 12, one thing I want to say, this is organic too, just like the chelated iron. You don't have to worry about over application. It's not going to harm your grass. And I want to tell you about it. I'm not a soil scientist, but it comes from, I don't know if I'm even saying shale, linodite shale maybe or something that's deep in the deep way down into the earth. I don't know, but it's it has something to do with decaying plants, animals, minerals. I don't know the science behind it. I know it's organic. I don't know. Probably the microbes probably eat these things that have decayed and probably poop it out, and they dig it. I don't know. But somebody says it's right before the material turns to coal. That's the humic. I don't know. But anyway, it is. The farmers have been using it in the agricultural community for a long time. A lot of studies have proved the efficiency of this. But it's new to the lawn care, the residential especially industry. So there's not really studies on that. But from what I have read, everything. I like to apply one new thing at a time, and I'm a minimalist. I don't like to put a lot on my yard, especially centipede. But this looked really good to me, and if John Perry recommends it, I'm going to listen. This was really the only thing he recommended. So this is going to help. It's got a lot of advantages to it. It's kind of like look at fertilizer as the shampoo for your hair, and these as the conditioners to your hair. Okay, this is not a food. This is they call it a biostim. This is a biostimulant that is going to enhance the efficiency of your fertilizer that you put in the soil. It's going to help with the nutrient uptake that's already added to your soil. You can add this at any time. It's going to help with the root development. I need that. I need to drive my roots a little deeper. It's going to help, especially I've got high sodium. I need to flush out that sodium. I've had a problem with high pH. I've had nutrient lockup. Apparently, according to my soil test, it's got showing off the charts, all these, especially these micronutrients, and I barely applied anything to my yard in the last 2 or 3 years. So that's telling me I've got lockup in my nutrients. So this is going to help unlock the nutrients in my yard. It's going to help with water retention. It's going to help flush out those salts and those aluminums. It helps with soil structure, chlorophyll uptake, all kind of advantages. So I would suggest looking into humic acid. That's kind of something new, but I'm going to apply this at least 2 to 3 times a year. You can apply it once a month with anything, pretty much any time. I think it tells you to water it afterwards. Just read your label on everything, follow the label. And it's goof proof, as Alan Haynes says. You're not going to mess anything up because it's organic. So everything sounded good to me. In fact, it's time for me to apply again. It's not something you're going to be able to look at aesthetically and see, but it's something that's going to work from your soil up. You know, you got good soil, you're going to have good grass. All right, before it gets dark, showing my grass mattocks, kind of do a this is, again, organic grass. So this is not the best conditions because I've been, for the most part, out of town for 2 weeks. Up until last week, I had been out of town for the most part of 2 weeks. We had a lot of rain, had a lot of grass growth, and when I was gone, my grass got really, really high. So I had to double cut it. And look, I want you to just kind of zoom in on what I cut it with this last cut. Show them my, this was what yard mom, we had a little mishap in the garage. So my last entire cut was with 3 wheels on my fist cars. So I'm sure my yard will look a lot better, but it is what it is. It was a weekend. I've already put my car, well, I got to put my car in. I've already emailed fist cars. I hope, God, I can get a wheel. I don't have to buy another whole unit. But anyway, that's all I've done to my yard. There's one other thing. When I say I'm predominantly organic, that means mostly organic, but there's one thing that I have to put chemicals down that are not organic on because I have nut sedge. predominantly Kalinga, which is a nut sedge family. I do have some purple nut sedge, but it doesn't matter what it is, you treat them all the same. So this year, instead of using Image, I used sedge hammer. Okay, and this ended up working better for me. Okay, you want to apply this, or I do. I pretty much apply anything that's especially synthetic when it's 85 degrees or below 85 degrees in the evening. So you have the evening for things to cool down. You want to be careful, especially with centipede, about putting anything on, especially when it's hot. Okay, but the sedge hammer, now what I did, I'm going to give you a little advice. I'll use the packet in here, but it's just a little packet you mix with water, follow the directions, easy peasy. I would suggest either using, this stuff is so dirty, get latex gloves. On all the videos I watch, I must have missed that adjective, latex. I did have my gloves on, but you need latex gloves, and I don't know where, I got some somewhere, but I couldn't find them. You want to either use dye or use some of those little flags. I would recommend, what I did is I used flags for this so I could remember where I had applied it, and I didn't over apply, because you might damage your grass if you over apply. And then of course it may take like 3 weeks for this to work completely. You're moving a lot. But anyway, that way I could go back. I took pictures of my flags and I can go back. That way if I see Kalinga or nut sedge Cunove again, I'll know, well, this product takes 2 applications, or I can go back and analyze how well the product worked. This worked better than Image. Last year when I used a Masquin in the product called Image, I had to do 2 apps. This one I only did 1, okay? The last thing I'm gonna say is when I applied my iron, I did use, for the first time ever, this blue dye. So again, latex gloves, which I did not use and got it everywhere. And I would use a funnel, because this stuff is messy, it gets everywhere. So that's the only thing I've done in my yard. And I probably will not put any more other than Humic 12. It's been a month, almost exactly a month, a little over a month since I put that Humic 12. I'm gonna put at least 1 other application, or of Humic. Probably got Humic 12 from the next product next year. Now that I'm gonna get 1 more at least application of learning the procedure of how to apply something with a hose-in sprayer. Like I said, that's new to me. I'm not comfortable with that. I got to get comfortable with that. But I'll put 1 other application of humic acid. Unless I just see another influx of nut sedge or Kalinga in my yard, I will not spray any more sedge hammer. Follow your directions on everything. But as you can see, my yard is looking pretty good with minimal applications. And like I said, the only thing I have put on my yard that's not organic this year is a few spot sprays of sedge hammer, which is a herbicide for my nut sedge. And that's just with all the rains we've had this year. I knew that was going to be a problem, because nut sedge usually occurs when you have a lot of rain, a lot of irrigation, a lot of wet soil, and so I expected that. But anyway, just kind of show them my soil, just kind of in my quest to continue. Now, one thing I do want to show you, I messed up. Yard Mama Jr. had used the lawnmower in the back, and I thought I had it on my tallest height, because when I come back from vacation, I knew I needed to do a double mow because my yard was high, and so you don't want to break that 1/3 rule too often. So I mowed it at like 4 inches the first time I thought, but I had it on 1. I thought it was on 4, it was on 1. So I scalped. You can see 1 little spot right here, and this is my biggest part of Bermuda that has crept into my yard over the years. It's not taken over because I'm keeping my centipede healthy. Centipede, they say, will overtake Bermuda, but Bermuda is alpha grass. It's aggressive, so it's pretty much been. This is the most predominant place I have Bermuda. So this is the one place I was doing a diagonal row, and I scalped it on 1. And I just thought, thinking, dang, I knew I was out of shape, but then I realized, I said, oh my God, I've got it on 1 inch instead of 4 inches. So I did a scalp right here. So this doesn't look good right here, and I don't know as much about Bermuda, because I just try to get rid of it over time by taking care of my centipede grass. So hopefully that'll just come back to life. But anyway, just wanted to come back and show you. What was that? What was that, a wasp? Anyway, I wanted to come back and show you, even though my grass I cut on 3 wheels and it's not a pretty mow right now, it kind of gives you an idea. And I know the sun's going down, but I had to go get Maddox. It was his birthday, so I had to go pick him up, and we're late getting out here again. It's almost dark, and I told you last time I wouldn't do that. But anyway, I'll be coming at you with another video, one or two other things I want to talk to you about before the season ends that I've done and continue to do in my yard that I think might be of interest and might help you too. So just stay tuned for my next video. If you haven't liked and subscribe, please do. And hit the little bell, the little notification and that'll give you a little indicator of when my next, a notification when my next video comes. So thanks for watching, guys, and keep doing what you're doing. We got a little longer, at least in the south, till the season's over, so we got a few more things we got to do. And thanks for watching.